What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we've got some new yellow Digimon to be talking about. We got a couple of level 6s, we've got a super rare, and we've got one that I think looks very exciting indeed. But we need to start off with our 10 millionth Agumon. Now, we've got free cost to play normally, 0 cost to Digivolve, 2,000 power. I should say our translations are the lovely folks over at Ensign Gaming, the lovely folks at DigimonCard.dev, and a little bit from myself practicing my Japanese. And this is standard cost and stats and all of that for a level 3 with a skill. And what it apparently does, as an inheritable skill, on your turn, once per turn, when you play a Digimon with 4 Great Dragons in its traits, or when you put a card named Trail of the 4 Great Dragons into your battle area, draw a card. And we did see the Magnadramon and Agumon the other day that essentially do this. They are 4 Great Dragons, or some of them anyway, and they get played with Trial of the 4 Great Dragons, and you put it in, etc., etc., and basically, every time that happens, you draw a card. It is also important, it says, when you put a card named Trail of the 4 Great Dragons, because that means, presumably at least, that if you use a deletion skill on Agumon or Magnadramon here, that lets you put a card in, or if there isn't one already, that's also going to let you draw a card. If you're playing a 4 Great Dragons deck, and you can play Agumon here, I think it's very, very fair to say you should almost certainly be playing it. It's really, really, really good. And speaking of 4 Great Dragons, we might as well start off having a little bit of a look at Goldramon. 12 cost to play normally, 3 cost to Digivolve, 11,000 power, which is all well and good. But it is a 4 Great Dragon. And we saw the card the other day, Trial of the 4 Great Dragons, which lets you draw a card when you play it, and then it goes into your battle area, and on a delay you can play a card with 4 Great Dragons in its traits from your hand without paying, although it cannot Digivolve into a level 7 and will be deleted at the end of your opponent's turn. Okay. You see, when you Digivolve into Goldramon, you may return 1 card with 4 Great Dragons in its traits from your trash to your hand, which is really good, because, you know, the option card has 4 Great Dragons in its traits, which is really important. I'm fairly sure it does. And that's huge, because it means you get the option card back, and bearing in mind you need the option card because the deletion skills let you put it back into play, or into your area anyway, and that allows you to play a card for free. I mean, it's great. You need to be getting it back. Or you get back one of your, one of your other 4 Great Dragons, a Digimon. But when attacking, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 6,000 power for the turn, and then by returning a Magnadramon, an Agumon, and a Magnadramon from your trash to the bottom of your deck, trash the top 2 cards from your opponent's security stack. The top 2 cards! That's ridiculous! Now, I've shown you very briefly Agumon and Magnadramon. Magnadramon is one we're going to look at in just a moment. That's the other level 6 in this video. But oh my word, these 4 Great Dragons are, they're building up pretty quickly, I think is fair to say. This Goldramon's nuts! Now, when you Digivolve, and this is not one you necessarily want to hardcast, because you can Digivolve up and get that card back into your hand. But then, when you attack, every time one of your opponent's Digimon loses 6,000 power, and then you get to return those 3 cards on the trash to the bottom of your deck and trash 2 from the security. If you can get multiples of each of the other 3 in the trash, and I know that's a difficult thing to pull off, but if you can do it, you can use this skill more than once. Imagine being able to get 2 of each in the trash, and then you attack once, take out both of their security, or 2 of their security, and then a 3rd with the attack, and then you attack again and take out their last 2 security. This could be broken. You need a lot of milling and all of that. You need to make sure you can get these cards in your trash, which is no easy feat. But oh my word, if you can get this working, it's absolutely ridiculous. Now, we've also got Magnadramon here. 12 cost to play normally, 4 cost to Digivolve, 12,000 power. And this is going to share a lot of traits with the Agumon and the Magnadramon. It's got the exact same set of stats. And it's got that same deletion skill if you don't have Trial of the 4 Great Dragons in your battle area. Put one Trial of the Four Great Dragons from your hand into your battle area. And it says put, not play, so I'm fairly sure that means you don't have to pay for it. You just have to have it in your hand, which is not an ideal situation. That's not always going to be particularly easy. But when it works... Also, on play, all of your opponent's Digimon gain security attack -1 until the end of your opponent's turn. And then if this card was played by the effect of Trial of the Four Great Dragons, they all get security attack -2 instead. Remember, Trial of the Four Great Dragons, you play it, and then on a delay, you can just play a Four Great Dragon for free, can't digivolve into a level 7, and will be deleted at the end of your opponent's turn. But please remember that even though it's deleted at the end of the turn, and if I'm using any translated proxies here, they are, of course, from the lovely folks over at DigimonCard.dev. The thing is, if I'm doing this, my Digimon gets deleted at the end of the turn, but then I just get to put another Trial of the Four Great Dragons down. So who really cares? This is a rather phenomenal combination. Don't forget that Agumon lets you draw 2 when you play it, and Magnadramon lets you delete a level 5, or a level 6 if you played it with Trial of the Four Great Dragons. And then you got Magnadramon now that gives security attack -1 to everything, or -2 if it was played with Trial of the Four Great Dragons. And remember, right, security attack -2 means if they've got security attack +1, they don't take out any security cards. They have literally got to have security attack +2 in order to be able to attack and take out 1 security card. Which might be 1 or 2, but that's unlikely. What is actually far more likely to happen is your opponent is just going to not be able to take down any security for a turn after you play this, and that's amazing. When you combine it with the other Four Great Dragons, I think we're on to a winner here. I told you in the previous video this looked like a particularly very good deck, but now we got the 2 yellow dudes as well, and of course I just told you about Agumon. And I told you that if you're playing a Four Great Dragons deck, Agumon becomes very important. Well, now you've got 2 of them being yellow. And in reality, what you're probably going to be doing here is digivolving from Agumon up into Goldramon and trying to play the other Four Great Dragons using Trial of the Four Great Dragons. Man, I've said Four Great Dragons a lot in this video. And we are now at the stage where we are getting very, very excited indeed. Oh yeah, and we've also got Fatal Flame as well. A 5-cost option card. One of your opponent's Digimon gets -6,000 for the turn. Then you may return a card with 4 Great Dragons in its traits from your trash to your hand. And look, the -6,000 is good and very useful and all of that. But we need to keep trying to get Trial of the Four Great Dragons back. And generally speaking, as a general rule, we don't have traits on option cards because it doesn't really make sense. But I'm looking at the scan from V-Jump magazine and it certainly seems to have it. And it's been translated by the lovely folks over at DigimonCard.dev as having that trait. And that makes all the difference in the world. Because now that card can be recovered with your Goldramon. That card can be recovered with your Fatal Flame, because your deck is revolving around that card. And then, of course, in theory, we've got a little bit of a draw engine coming here with Agumon, and we got a little bit of a draw engine coming here with Agumon, so you're going to actually be able to find these cards as well. I am loving this. And I don't think I'm the only one. This is one of those decks where I'm fairly sure what's going to happen is I'm going to look at it and go, oh, wow, that looks really fun. And then I'm going to realise that everyone else is playing it, and I'm not going to want to play it myself. That's generally the way it goes. Decks that get really popular, I go, meh, nah. But this seems like one we're going to have to look out for. And maybe it's not. Maybe it never works out. Maybe we end up in a situation where this deck gets tested and actually it doesn't really work. It's hard to chain your Great Dragons, etc. That might be the case. But I think it is absolutely one we need to take seriously and be looking into. And one that we need to be, well, testing if nothing else. I think this could be legit. But I want to know what you think. So let me know in the comment section, would ya? Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk Digimon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wasi Plays.